Welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to try to preserve some of the bounty that is coming in from our summer garden and thought that I would take you all along. We harvested our carrots a couple of days ago and I'm slowly working through them. My favorite way to preserve carrots is to ferment them, and I'm going to show you how I do that today. The process starts with just scrubbing that outer skin off, get all the dirt, all those things off, and then we will prepare them for the jars. To make the brine, I heat a cup of water. I add 2 tablespoons of salt and dissolve it, and then I finish filling up the cup, which is a quart of water, to cool it off so it'll be ready to pour over the carrot. I trim the ends off the carrots and slice them into rounds and place them in my jars. I'm doing quarts today, but I'm also going to do a half-gallon jar later on, and hopefully I can get around 2 gallons altogether, because we literally eat these with every meal when we have them, so just really nice to have a lot on hand. Once the jar's full, I pour the brine until it covers the carrots, and then I place a fermenting weight on top to hold the carrots under the brine, because anything that goes above the brine will probably mold. So you want to make sure that you have it pressed well below the brine as it ferments. I will just sit these on my counter for 7 to 10 days. I'll taste them starting on day 7. And when they have the right level of sourness, then I will put them in the refrigerator. These will last for several months in your refrigerator, so it's a really delicious way to preserve your garden carrots. I'm moving on to the tomatoes now. And the method I'm going to show you is a temporary preservation method that I just started doing recently. So where we live, we've been having a heat wave for the past week or so. And the last thing that I really want to do is turn my stovetop on for a long time to preserve these tomatoes. So what I'm doing is I'm going to freeze them whole, and that way when it cools down, and plus I have enough tomatoes to do a good run of salsa, I will have them ready to go. The great thing about this method is when they thaw out, the peelings just fall off, so you can just proceed with your canning recipe and you don't have to worry about boiling them to get the skins to release. Now also, I'm waiting for another reason, because I ordered a few days ago a steam canner. I saw it on another homestead channel here on YouTube and I was like really intrigued, and so I really want to wait until I get that. I want to show y'all how that works and use that to can my salsa instead of filling up a huge pot with water. I think the steam canner only takes like 2 quarts of water, so it's going to be pretty cool. So the first step to freezing whole tomatoes is to dry them after you've rinsed them off. And I like to take a paring knife and core them. So I just kind of stick it in and go around the core and remove that. And that's it. You remove the cores. Make sure that they don't touch on the baking sheet that you're going to put them on to freeze them. You want to let them freeze completely before you transfer them to a freezer bag. So that for me, I just go ahead and let them sit in the freezer for at least 24 hours so they are completely frozen before I move them to freezer bags, and then I'll store them in the big freezer outside. So this has just been really cool. I found out about this on actually through Google. I was trying to find kind of a temporary way to preserve my tomatoes because I wasn't getting enough to make a renna salsa, and also it was crazy hot for several days, and it's starting to cool off now that I'm doing this voiceover, but I want to wait on my steam canner to get here before I actually work these up. This has been kind of a game changer for me, knowing that I can do this every year and not have to heat my kitchen up until I'm really ready to do it, or I don't have to use up just a few tomatoes and I don't have enough to do a full run. So this has just really been an eye-opener for me, and I wanted to share it with you all if you're like me and you struggle with what to do with a few tomatoes, or when it's really hot and you don't want to be canning. So I hope this will help some of you all out if you go through that as well. It's the next day, and while I am getting these tomatoes in a freezer bag, and yes, I have a sweater on because it actually cooled off quite a bit last night, and I'm loving it. But while I'm putting these in freezer bags, I want to thank you for joining me today in the kitchen and just spending some time with me, getting to visit, and I hope that you all are doing well. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up, and comment down below what you're in the middle of preserving in your kitchen as well. All right, if you haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I make 2 new videos every single week and would love to have you here. We'll see you on the next video.